Hi, this is how to play Real Love, the Tom Odell version, part 1. In this part we're going to do a little bit of theory. I'm going to run over how to build a basic chord. Then I'm going to show you the chords that are used in part 1 of this Tom Odell song. In part 2 then we'll go on to the chords of the verse, and then in part 3 we'll finish off the chords of the verse. We're going to get all of the chords learnt first before we start looking at the intricacies of exactly what Tom Odell is doing. So get these chords really good first and you'll be well prepared in the later parts to look at exactly what Tom Odell's doing. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the chords that are played during the intro and the verse. I'm not sure how far we're going to get through in part 1 because the intro is a little bit complicated due to this strange second chord which is not very common in pop music. First of all, I'm going to show you the notes that are going to be used for this whole song. The song is in the key of F. When someone says something's in the key of F, what they mean is it will only use the notes that are found in the scale of F, which are here. This rule is going to be broken. It's like I before E except after C. It's a basic rule that we follow, but we all know that it's occasionally broken, and that's the way it works, unfortunately. But in the main, and this song deviates more than most actually, but in the main, these are the notes we're going to use. The notes are F, G, A. Now B, this is the important thing, we'll come back to that in a second actually, C, D, E, F. Now if you notice all the notes are white, except for that one. So that means that whatever you play in this song, you'll be playing a white note, with the exception of B. You don't play B, instead of playing B, you play B flat. That means the little black one behind the B there. So the full scale then is C, F, G, A, B flat. B is always flat. C, D, E, F. Okay? Scale of F, you want to play it. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Yep. Then the thumb goes underneath to the C. There. So 4 fingers. Thumb goes underneath and another 4 fingers. Okay? That's just to show you the notes that we're going to use. The first chord is F. Now we need to know how to make basic chords. The whole song is built on chords, so this is a crucial, fundamental piece of knowledge you're going to have to know before we start. If you're going to make a chord, you take any note in the scale. Let's take an F. You go 2 notes up the scale. 1, 2. You add that note, which is an A. Go 2 notes up again. Add that note. That then is a chord of F. It works from any note. Chord of A. You take an A, go 2 up. C. Go 2 up. E. That's a chord of A. Actually A minor, but don't worry about that. Good. So, first thing we're going to do, the first chord in this intro is F. I've written the root. I usually refer to chords in the key depending on their root note. F begins on 1, so I've called it chord 1. G begins on 2, so I've called it chord 2. It helps to see what's happening in the key. But the first chord is F. So we're going to do exactly what we did before. Left hand, it's slightly different in the verse, how Tom Odell plays this, but in the intro, we're going to go left hand, we're going to play the F. Then the thumb of the right hand is going to play the A, index finger is going to play the C, and we're going to add another F at the top here, okay? So we're reduplicating that F at the top. Looks like that, okay? Thumb on the left hand, then right hand, thumb, index, little finger. That's your first chord. I'm going to put the pedal down. If I put the pedal down and tap the chord, it rings on nicely, like that. If I don't put the pedal down, it doesn't ring on. So, pedal going down, we're going to play the chord twice. The intricacies, we're not going to do till the part 2 or part 3, after this part. For now, I'm just going to teach you the basic chords, then we'll learn the intricacies, the little bits and pieces he's doing. For now, we're just going to play the basic chords. We're going to play F twice. Twice for each of these, okay? So, F twice, okay? And then we'll go on to this chord. This chord is a pain. I'm going to try and briefly explain the theory behind this chord. It's not used very often in pop music. It's called a diminished chord. Now, technically, this is actually going to be a G minor 7th with a flattened 5th. I'll explain what a diminished chord is first. Now, diminished chord is very uncommon in pop music. We're going to take the basic G minor chord, which you would use in this key, would be, you take 2, because this is chord 2, you take 2, you go 2 up, you take the B flat, you go 2 up, and you take the D, okay? That's a G minor chord, okay? This, however, is a diminished chord. Now, a diminished chord is basically a minor chord with the top note, the 5th, flattened. Okay, can you see that? So that would be the basic G minor chord, G, B flat and D. But this is a G diminished, you flatten the top note. And that's a G diminished, alright? Just to complicate matters further, let me just explain what a seventh chord is. We'll go back to F, and standard chord is a triad. You take the first, the third, and the fifth of a scale. If we were going to play a seventh, we would then go 2 notes up again and add the seventh. Do you see? So it's every other note. Instead of playing 3 notes, you add a 4th one, and that's a seventh. It's a basic seventh chord. So you've got a basic triad plus an extra one 2 notes further up, okay? G minor seventh then would be G, B flat, D, and you go 2 notes further and add the F. And that's what we're going to play, is we're going to play a minor seventh. But it's a minor seventh with the 5th flattened. It looks like that. Okay? Which is complicated to get to, but not impossible. So, we're just going to do the right hand here. We've done twice of the F. Now we've got to get to this G diminished, we'll call it. So what we're going to do, very simply, we're going to do it just for now, while we're practicing in 2 moves, we're going to move the thumb down to a G. Can you see that? So the first thing we can do is move the thumb down to a G. We're then going to take our index and middle fingers, the 2 fingers that the archers used to flick at the opposing forces to show they still had their fingers, and we're going to play the B flat and the D flat there, okay, with the index and the middle finger. All right, so back to our F chord, which looks like that. It's basically that's a standard basic little finger inversion there, thumb, index and little. We're going to move the thumb down to a G. We're going to take these 2 fingers, middle and index, and put them on the 2 black notes that are either side of that C that we were on. Okay, so we're going to there. Okay, so from here we're going to move the thumb and then put those 2 onto there. Do it with me. You ready? So we're going from here. We're going to play, so from here we're going to move the thumb, do it with me, move the thumb, take those 2 fingers and put them on the 2 black notes, okay? So back to thumb, index and little. We're going to move the thumb to G, put those 2 fingers onto those 2 black notes, and that's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to do this very slowly, twice on there, twice on there, and putting my pedal down again, okay? So 1, 2, we're going to move our thumb, then we're going to move those 2 fingers onto the 2 black notes and then play the G diminished twice. 1, 2, and then back to the F. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Okay? Let's do that again. 1, 2, moving our thumb to the G, 2 fingers to the black notes. 1, 2, keep the little finger in there all the time, then back to the F. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's your introduction. I hope you can follow that. If you don't, just keep rewinding and keep practicing it. Just play it over and over and over till you've got it perfect. Don't move on. It's the rule I will reiterate all the time. Don't move on until you've got the first thing perfect. Otherwise, you'll just start getting really confused. Just get that move really, really perfect before you even think about trying to move on. Okay? It's not so hard when you break it down. In the left hand, the F, this is what this /F means. The F is played again. And we're going to play the F on the left hand here once at the beginning of each chord. Okay? So that's the F twice, then we're going to the G diminished twice. Do you see how I just put the F in? And then F. So we're playing this F at the beginning of that chord, and the beginning of that chord, and the beginning of that chord. But this, other than that, it's just the right hand. So, ready? 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it with me again. 1, 2, to G diminished. 1, 2, then back to F. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your introduction, okay? Just get used to doing that, and put the F in at the same time with the left hand, and that's your introduction, okay? Obviously, we haven't done the intricacies of the and all that. Yeah, we'll do that in a later part. Get the chords for now. Let me just see how long that's taken so far. 9 minutes. I think that's the end of part 1 there. A little bit complicated, that part 1. Hopefully the verse will be much, much simpler. That diminished chord is complicated theoretically, but hopefully you've got that. Move on to part 2 now, if you want to know how to do the chords in the verse.